Good day buddies. It's santing season again, started a few months back. I'm hoping you got those queen ants you've been looking for. Unfortunately, D colony haven't done anything to hunt yet. Since I'm too busy these days, and with bad luck my few free time has always been raining. So, our only catches this year is maybe those who land in front of us. Or only the species that will enter the house. Anyway, our video for today is requested by our buddy, Billy, which is asking for a substitute to a test tube setup that we can use to raise a newly caught queen, or to house a young ant colony. Using this tiny sauce cups, which we already drilled with each holes. I will show you 3 types of DIY founding setups that can be made easily, excluding the simplest way, which is just putting some dirt or cocoa peat in here, as checking the progress on that one would be more difficult. The 3 types I'm showing you are those I've already tried, and have success in the past. Without further ado, let's start with the first one. We need something like this tubing that can block the sand from completely covering the bottom. We'll just flatten the sand like this, then remove the tubing. Then using a sanded grout, we're filling the hole first created by using the tubing. Then set a thin layer of grout next. At this rate this product can already work fine as a founding chamber after drying. But if we want it to be more secured, as we're housing a small ant species, we can add a tubing to the entrance, and surround it with grout to make the connections later on tighter, and more stable. This will also block invaders that's small enough to fit in between the cup and the tube. We just need to make the chamber next using sand. Then fill all the remaining free space with grout. Then there, first one is done, we're just going to close the lid and let it dry for a day. Let's go ahead and work for the second one. Using another cup, we'll start again by filling one side with sand. As simple as this. Then we're filling it with grout. Add the size of tubing we're planning to use. We're just making the grout above the sand a little bit thicker, before we do the chamber using sand. Then again secure the entrance, by surrounding it with the mixture. Close the lid. And let it dry, just like that. The second one is done. Let's move to the third one quick, which I believe is familiar with most of you buddies. As this one will serve as a smaller version of our milk tea cup formicarium. Let's just flatten the sand using another cup. And using a small amount of sand, we're gonna elevate a portion like this. Then fill its surrounding with sanded grout. After that we're gonna cover the sand with 100 micron mesh. Then cover the center top with sand, to create the water tower. This way we're not going to block the way of evaporation later on. Added a tubing. Then again fill it with a thin layer of grout. We're gonna be carving the chamber of this one, so we can close it now. But we're also making one with pre-made chambers using sand. Then let's compare them together later. Anyway, We also made some that have an entrance from the lid, which I don't recommend, as securing the entrance on this one is a harder job. And, after few hours, we're done with this set of mini founding ant farms, and before we check the outcomes, let me give a shout out to our buddy, and his new channel, Ant Drone. Let me also say welcome back, buddies. And for those new to the channel, you're also welcome to Decolony. After letting it dry for 24 hours, we can now check them and do some finishing touches. Let's go with this one with water tower, which is the one we don't made a chamber using sand, as I wanna try and carve the chamber myself. We're going to make a size that's good for a young colony. Next is we're just going to remove it from the cup, and clear the sand below, as it will be a place of some water, for hydration. And the finished product is here, looks good. But here's the one with pre-made chamber using sand, looks way better as the sand residue makes it look so natural. We'll be trying to hydrate them all later on. Next to check on our mini setups, is the one with pillar below for hydration. Like the first one, we also need to remove the sand on the bottom. Minimal carving on some fragile part. And it's done. We'll also see how will this gonna work later. And the last to check is the only one with sand as hydration media. And with that being said, the sand below will not be cleared. The only need to be cleaned is the sand on the chamber itself. We just flushed it with water, and easy does. They look like this after drying completely. This is the one with pillar below, a simple looking ant farm. We'll just return it to the cup, and make sure to align the holes for the tubing. Now let's try to hydrate them, shall we? We're just going to punch a hole, using the syringe we intend to use on hydration. As it tight as this goes, will prevent too much evaporation outside the nest. We can see the pillar is absorbing the water nicely, as it's slowly spreading on the thin layer of flooring. Don't water too much, buddies, as this will not be too quick to dry out. We will just let this big block here to absorb some water, and that's it. Which I think the water we provided below, is just enough after it absorbed 100%. Next we're watering is this one with sand as hydration media. We punch a hole just right after the sand, and easily hydrate it. On this one we can also easily spot the change of color on the grout, indicating it's slowly absorbing the water well. The third one will also be hydrated in the same way, by making a hole on the side. The only difference is we cannot see the grout absorbing the water, as there are no contact between them. But this mesh here will allow the stock water below to evaporate, that will provide the humidity needed inside the chamber. The only downside of this mini founding ant farms, compared to the classic test tube setup, buddies, is it dries up faster than the classic one. We'll be needing to hydrate it at least 1 to 2 times a month, based on how wet or humid the ant species is needed, so make sure to make a reminder or alarm so we can't forget the schedule if you decided to use this setups. I've already tried connecting it to a test tube setup before, and some species like Camponitus preferred this one over the test tube setup. I'm excited to start new colonies on this one, buddies, so I'm hoping that I can manage more time soon to look for queen ants, as we're really busy this past months. I just hope you have learned something from this video, guys. Be a genie for the first time, by granting my wish and tapping the like and share button. That would help a lot. This is D-Colony, saying goodbye for now, but hoping to see you on my next videos.